Hello everyone, welcome to TEB News. There's a team of transport economists in Chiang Rai called Big Papa Transport. They were hired by Chiang Rai Transportation Agency under Transportation Ministry of Thailand. Their responsibilities are just looking into transport system upgrade throughout Chiang Rai city and surrounding district. And they started the project by selecting 3 specific zones in Chiang Rai, include with Tambon Bandu, Tambon Rimkop, and Tambon Vien. In these 3 zones are home-based work trip, and all trips start from home to work within their own living areas and outside their own living areas. But we was a little bit wondering, we can't really imagine how's the project like. So we sent out journalists to explore those areas.
Thank you, Miss Ramsey. I am Natawat. Now we are in the center of Zone 1, Tambon Bandu. After we did survey, there are 466 houses and 1,722 people. And then we observed 10 sample houses. We found out that there are 2.2 which is an average of employee per house, and 2.1 is an average of automobile, and the last one is average tip per house, which equal to 1.6. Then we have to find the tip in zone 1, so we have to use an average per house multiplied by the total amount of house in zone 1. Then we will get the amount of trip in zone 1, which equal to 746. Finally, we will find main attraction, which is Big C in zone 1, by interviewing employee worker in this zone to estimate the total amount of attraction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Natawat. And there's no time to be less, right? So we'll move to zone 2 with Mr. Sarit Kumjamba.
Okay, now we are in the Usan City village, the main production of the zone 2. After we did survey, we got the numbers of house around 210 house and 536 people live in here. And then we observed the 10 samples of house, and we found out that there are the 2.7, which is an average of the employee per house, and the 2.8 is an average of the automobile per house, and the one is the average of tip per house is equal to the 2.1. And then we have to find the trip in this zone 2. So we have to an average per house multiplied by total amount of the house by got information from the employee who work in here, such as the energy department and land department, to estimate the attraction. And then after we use the average of the tip per house multiplied by the of house in this zone, we got the number equal to the 441. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sarit. Finally, we're in the zone 3 with Mr. Ratanan Buddhi, and now he's ready. So let's go.
Hi, I'm Ratanan Buddhi. Now we are in the main production of zone 3, Tambon Vien. After we did survey, there are 567 houses and 1,888 people. And then we observed 10 sample houses. We found that there are 4.6, which is an average employee per house, and 2.5 is an average of automobile, and the last one is an average trip per house, which is equal to 1.8. Then we have to find the trip in zone 3, so we have to use an average per house multiplied by the total amount of house in zone 3. Then we'll get the amount of trip in zone 3, which is equal to 1,021. Finally, We find attraction in zone 3 by interviewing employees who works within this zone to estimate the total amount of attraction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ratanan. You did such a great job. And we haven't done talking about the mega project yet. So please stay tuned and see you after the break with our special guest.
Okay, now we in the Usan Sirit village. The main productions of the zone through Limkok. So after we survey,
Hello everyone and welcome back to TEB News. And now we're with our special guest, Ms. Kantinan Phonmakham, one of the advisor of the project from Big Papa Company. So please welcome. Hi, good to see you. Just like I said. So we are so happy having you with us today. So she's here with us today to show you how to balance the attraction and the production within these 3 zones in Chiang Rai. So shall we get started?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question, why do we need to do the balancing within these 3 zones?
From the survey of each zone, it was found that the number of production and attraction have the number of tips according to the table. Due to the number of attraction that come from another zone, that we don't want. So we need to cut out the number of attraction from other zone to be equal with production by balance from this formula.
And how can we balance?
For example, we will balancing attraction of zone 1. That using the number of attraction which is 398 divided by total attraction which is 2731, which count as 14%, and then multiplying by total production which is 2208. Then the result in balancing attraction is equal to 322. When you balance attraction of all 3 zones, you will get the same amount of production and attraction which is equal to 2208.
And we're so thankful for having you today with us so much. We get so many experience, knowledge, and how to calculate like those complex things from you. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Me too.
Yes, we gained so many experiences, knowledge, and how to calculate those complex things from her. So we really need to thank you for that. And after the break, we'll back with another special guest in Chit Chat Talk. Stay tuned. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to TEB News with Chit Chat Talk. And now we're with Mr. Tanmit Yanasai, the transport economist from Big Papa Transport. So he's here today to explain more further details about the step of this project. So shall we start?
Yes.
Okay.
From the balancing part, we can find the tip, production and attraction of T-zone. There are 2,208 tips and the table that we show you. And then for travel time between each zone, we'll estimate based on distance from Google Maps that we saw as you can see in the table. So next is travel time, the subtraction factor. And the solution to find this number is to put the F value we'll obtain from the calibration process to Excel and plot the graph to find a factor that is related to our travel time. So we use gravity model to find number of trips from one zone to another zone in our study area by use this formula. Following this, then this will resolve like that we show you.
And that's it for today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're very thankful for having you today.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And we'll back in the next break with Transport Economic World.
Hi Sky, I'm Shinita Jansu. Welcome to Transport Economic World. According to the last break, you already know about trip distribution. For now, we're gonna talk about the next step, which is mode selection. For this step, we will find the number of trips from one zone to another zone that compare between two modes of transportation, which is auto transport and public transport. We will use trip interchange model to find the percentage of trips that generated by each competing mode. First, we will divide population into three income groups. For 9,000 to 10,000 baht, we will call as low income. And for the next group, 20,000 baht to 40,000 baht, we will call as medium income. For the last group, 50,000 baht to 70,000 baht, called as high income group. And time work per month is 9,600 because employee work around 8 hours per day. And then when we multiply to the total number of hours that people work per month, we will get the result equal to that. Next, we can calculate impedance factor for each income group following this formula. Then we will use this result to calculate the proportion of trips between each zone to each zone by comparing of using auto transport and public transport later, which we assume an exponent value is 2 to be used for work travel. And now, Mr. Leilak is ready to tell you about the proportion between each zone.
So now we're at Sim Stadium and we did surveys about the income of employees within Zone 1. We found out that employees who have high income, medium income, and low income group are mostly use automobile more than public transport. And the result of the proportion of trip within Zone 1, they are around 64 to 87% by using automobile and around 13 to 36% by using public transport. Now let's talk about employees who live here and go to work in Zone 2. Employees who have high income income and low income, they are preferred to use automobile more than public transport also. For the trip proportion between zone 1 to zone 2, they are around 56 to 90% by using automobile and around 10 to 44% by using public transport. And employees who live here and go to work in zone 3, they are mostly use automobile more than public transport, especially in high income and medium income group. And employees who have low income still prefer to use public transport more than automobile. And the trip proportion between zone 1 to zone 3, they are around 33 to 78% by using automobile and around 22 to 67% by using public transport. Thank you. And now we're moving to Caltech gas station as we do surveys about the income of employees within zone 2. Employees who have high income, medium income, and low income and mostly use automobile more than public transport. The proportion of trips within zone 2, they are around 78 to 93% by using automobile and around 7 to 22% by using public transport. Let's talk about employees who live here and go to work in zone 1. They are mostly use automobile more than public transport. For the trip proportion between zone 2 to zone 1, they are around 56 to 87% by using automobile and around 10 to 44% by using public transport. And employees who live here and go to work in zone 3 are mostly use automobile more than public transport, especially in high and low income group. Surprisingly, employees who have medium income prefer to use public transport more than automobile. And the trip proportion between zone 2 to zone 3, they are around 43 to 78% by using automobile and around 22 to 57% by using public transport. Thank you. So now we're at King Meng Rai Monument as we did survey about the income of employees who live in zone 3 and work within zone 3. No matter they have high income, medium income, and low income, they are mostly use automobile more than public transport. The result of proportion of trips within zone 3 show that they are around 50 to 65% by using automobile and around 35 to 50% by using public transport. Let's talk about employees who has high income and medium income who live here and go to work in zone 1. They are mostly use automobile, but employees who have low income prefer to use public transport. For the trip proportion between zone 3 to zone 1, they are around 67 to 77% by using automobile and around 22 to 60% by using public transport. And employees who live here and go to work in zone 2 are mostly use automobile more than public transport, especially in high income and medium income group. But employees who have low income still prefer to use public transport. And about the trip proportion between zone 3 to zone 2, they are around 44 to 76% by using automobile and around 24 to 57% by using public transport. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Chalailak. That is for today on Transport Economic World. And Miss Lamsi will back with you guys.
Hello again, guys, and this is the last break of our show today. We are so honored to end the show with a very, very special guest from Big Papa Transport as well. Well, I'd like to guess first, who he is. So this is a clue. Listen to me carefully, okay? He is a businessman for sure, and he's quite famous in the industry. But unfortunately, he's the most busiest man as well. But he's still making time for us, and he's on the phone with us right now. So please welcome Mr. Hashit Sang, the CEO of Big Papa Transport. Hello, Mr. Hashit Sang. How are you doing today?
Yeah, hello, Miss Ramsey. I'm great, thanks. How about you?
I'm great too, thank you. We're so honored to have you here with us today.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, well, after we did interviews with your team and explored the areas in these three zones of your projects, we've got so many informations, but we still want to hear all these things from you.
Okay, can see that.
Okay, so can you please summarize all information about your project to us, please?
Yeah, of course. As we explore and did some research of each zone, we found that Zone 1 is mostly used automobile, around the 64 to the 87%, and use the public transportation around just 13% to the 36%. And in the Zone 2, they use the 70% to the 93% of automobile and use the 7% to the 20% of the public transportation. And in the last zone is zone 3, they use the 50% to 65% of automobile and use the 36% to the 50% of the public transport. According to the information we have got, most employees prefer to use automobile more than the public transportation. So it causes the traffic jam in many areas.
So I was like, wow, this project is just enormous. And how the project that you, oh sorry, and how the problem that you just mentioned can be solved by the project.
Well, we think the government should develop public transport system in each zone, such as increasing the number of buses in the service of each day to meet more need or create more accessible transport system in each area. To attract more employees to use the public transport to reduce the traffic jam in the area.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hashi-san, for giving us all this information today. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being with us the whole show. See you. Bye.